Hey guys, this is Andy. Welcome back to Get Your Wellies. Today we're going to talk about stringing tomatoes up on the new structure that I built last time. So let me show you how to do that. But first of all, as always, why don't you get your wellies, meet me in the garden. So guys, last time on Get Your Wellies we made a structure out of PVC and attached it to the fence where we can string our tomatoes up. This is what we use for that. Let's see if we can get to see that. This is basically just a spool of sorts with twine on it. This is tomato twine, so this will actually last several seasons. You can use any twine you like, but this one is good because it does last quite well. So I would recommend these. These are available on Amazon, or you could get some coat hangers and fashion them yourself, making sure there's a hook preferably on both ends, but not necessarily. You could just have one hook as long as you got something on here to trying to make sure you can see this, to wind that string onto. So I'm going to use these tomato plants that are right next to me here are actually way overdue going in the ground, but I'm probably going to go ahead and put them out. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to show you how to attach the string to these, and then we'll go over to the raised bed and show how we use these in practice. So let's set up where I can show you this really quick here. Now then, this tomato plant, which is actually a mushroom basket, like I said, they're way overdue going in, but that's okay. I've not really had just a whole ton of space, and some of it, the bit that I have left, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to plant in there, but I have some holes in the garden still that I think I'm just going to go ahead and put these in. So a couple of ways you can do this. The first way is just use the string. You can tie this off, and I would tie it right below a branch, and it doesn't have to be that far up at the beginning of this plant's life, but remember, you will probably prune some of the leaves off, so you might not want to do it where there's a branch coming off the stem low down, because you know you're going to prune that later. So I'm going to start here, and like I said, you could actually tie this off and just leave it with a good space in there, so that there's plenty of room for that stem to get wider, which of course it will. So make sure you got at least a good finger in there, and I'm going to do this loosely because I'm going to show you something else with the string. But you can actually, as the plant grows, just kind of wind the string up around the plant as it grows. That is a way to do it. I prefer to use these clips. Now, these are really easy to use. They last pretty much, I would only trust them for one season, but they work by, in this notch right here, you can start your string in there, and with the very first one I usually loop that around one time, and then you'll just close that up around the plant. Let's face that downwards around the plant, and it just locks in place. Super easy. And then as the plant grows, you would go up. You don't have to wrap this around anymore, but you can. But as this the plant grows, you're going to just add more on, and I'll show you this over there. But these are available also on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I think I got 300 this year for like maybe $8 or so. Might have been a little bit more. And a friend actually gave me some, so I'm in good shape with those. But as you can see, they're pretty easy to use. You just kind of half close it so it's trapped on the string, and then when you get to the plant, you just snap that around. These you can remove if you want to take one from the bottom and use it toward the top, so you don't have to use just tons of them if you don't want. So that's basically what I'm using. I do like these a lot, and I like the clips too. They help a lot. So let's go take a look in the garden and show you the system I have going over there and how the tomatoes are doing. So these are the tomatoes, and they are coming along quite nicely. There's quite a difference when you do it this way. So for example, this very last tomato is a Chadwick cherry, and I have been pretty good about pruning these. I'm looking just right now, I don't really see any suckers. Well, I see one, I lie. So I'll get that one in a minute. But the difference when you string them up like this and then prune them is quite dramatic. So this Chadwick cherry, granted it's younger than this other one, but we have a lot less leaves. You can see where I've pruned it from the bottom up. But this one has a lot less leaves than this one, which is kind of going wild. And that's because I put it in a cage. You can sort of see in there the cage. Actually got some fruit blushing down there too that I need to get. But this, as you can see, is why you don't put indeterminates in a cage. If you don't do what we're doing with the strings over here, you got to do something else to either trellis them or something, because they will go crazy on you. This is also a cherry tomato. This is the blueberry. Lots of fruit, lots of it, and this has been a very good tomato. Actually, take a look here. I don't know if you can see back down there. Some really pretty ones. Let's see if I can get in on there. Some really pretty tomatoes down there. I'm gonna have to get those here in just a little bit. So here we can see the strings that I showed you on the small plant, to how you set them up. But what's going on with this structure is that we have eyelets all the way along. So this is what's going to happen as the plant grows. You put more of the clips on. So there's clips in here, as you can see, clips on this one, you can see, and that string and the clips are supporting it really well. So as the plant grows up the to the height of the bottom of the hook, what I do is just undo at the top, take it out, a little bit of an obstacle course right here, and then unwind it, and then we move it across to the next eyelet. Sorry about the moving camera, it's really hard to use one hand to do this, as I'm sure you can imagine. So let me tighten that up a little bit. And you can just wrap it around to tighten it like that. So as you can see, once you do that, this plant's laying a lot flatter, but it's got much more room to grow back up the line. And that's what you're doing, is allowing space for it to grow. And then where they produce tomatoes commercially, they actually have an automatic system that does this. Like all year long. In fact, the plants live for sometimes a couple of years still producing, because they're in big greenhouses, climate controlled, all of that. But they lay these down, and these stems will be, 40 or 50 feet long, and then the last part of them is elevated to where they can pick the fruit off. So this one's actually not quite ready to be laid that far over, because we've still got a lot of fruit picking to do on this plant. We're barely getting started because this one started later. And so let me move this up a bit. There we go. That's good for now, and I can fix it when I have two hands. But you kind of get the idea about how that works. So all of these have been moved over one time, and next year I will go ahead, and at the far end down there, the eyelet's already in, so if these plants have to get ripped out, I will do the same kind of pruning on those. But this one's got lots of flowers on it. There is some fruit coming, so it is coming along, and it'll produce really fast. The temperature's been very favorable for tomatoes, except a couple of days where it got ridiculously hot. But anyway, that is kind of how you use those. I think you know, if you ever picked a tomato in the middle of the afternoon and sliced it and put it on a sandwich with your sliced bread, after the sliced bread, this little hook invention might be the best thing since that sliced bread. So guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next visit to Get Your Wellies, but until then, bye now.